Hello, very good morning. Welcome to the Mega News 6 and live from our studios on the Mega Broadcasting Network, MBN TV. My name is El Samuels. We first take a look at the headlines.
Don't rush to declare Asante Achim North seat vacant, ASEPA. In business, NPA raises diesel price floor by 18%, petrol up 9.4%. And on the international front, Mexican drug cartels expand meth operations to Nigeria, outsourcing production networks abroad.
Details of the stories and more coming up. The news is also live across all our social media networks. Details after the break. In our first story, the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs, ASEPA, has cautioned Parliament against prematurely declaring the Asante Achim North parliamentary seat vacant following the detention of the constituency member of Parliament, Kwame Ohene Frimpong, in the Netherlands.
Mr. Frimpong was arrested at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam on May 8 over allegations of money laundering and romance scam-related offences and remains in detention as legal proceedings continue. Speaking in an interview, Executive Director of ASEPA, Dr. Rashid Draman, said Parliament should allow the judicial process to run its course before taking any decision on the status of the seat. According to him, the principles of natural justice require that the MP be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Under the rules of natural justice, somebody has been accused. He hasn't been his day in court yet. He hasn't been convicted yet. Once he becomes a convict, then he is completely disqualified to even come near Parliament. We are not there yet, he said. Dr. Draman noted that any decision on whether the seat should be declared vacant should only be considered after the conclusion of the trial. I think he is going to have his day in court very soon, and maybe we can make pronouncements after that. There is a lacuna in the kind of legal systems that guide the issues of representation. There is a lot of silence in terms of how long somebody should be away from Parliament, he added. Parliament on May 12 confirmed that it had been officially informed of the detention of the independent MP at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Meanwhile, Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has confirmed that the government is providing consular assistance to Mr. Frimpong. Addressing the press conference on Monday, July 27, Mr. Ablakwa said Ghana's mission in The Hague has been engaging Dutch authorities, the MP's family and his legal team to ensure his rights are protected throughout the legal process.
And so with parliamentary matters, the Parliament has passed the Custom Bill 2026 establishing a modern legal framework for customs administration aimed at consolidating existing custom laws, facilitating international trade, strengthening border security, and improving domestic revenue mobilization.
The legislation is expected to streamline customs procedures, align Ghana's customs regime with international best practices, and enhance efforts to combat smuggling, illicit trade, and other customs-related offences. The bill was introduced in Parliament on Thursday, July 23, 2026, by the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Gavin Sagboja, on behalf of the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kezo Latu-Forson, in accordance with Article 106, Section 2 of the 1992 Constitution. It was read for the first time on the same day. Following its first reading, the bill was referred to Parliament's Finance Committee for consideration and a report in line with Article 106, Section 4 of the Constitution and Order 226, Section 2 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. After considering the committee's report, Parliament approved the bill paving the way for a comprehensive legal framework to govern customs administration in Ghana. The new law is expected to improve compliance among importers and exporters, facilitate legitimate trade, strengthen border controls, and enhance the country's capacity to mobilize revenue through efficient customs administration. The Customs Bill 2026 now awaits presidential assent before it comes into force.
In another story, the Minister for Interior has lifted a ban on women riding motorbikes in the Boko municipality and its surrounding areas following advice from the National Security Council.
The decision, announced through an executive instrument, permits women to ride motorbikes daily between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The Ministry of the Interior, however, said the restriction on men riding motorbikes remain in force until further notice as part of ongoing security measures in the area. In a statement on Wednesday, July 29, 2026, the ministry said the decision was taken on the advice of the National Security Council. The Minister for the Interior, on the advice of the National Security Council and by executive instrument, has lifted the ban on women riding motorbikes in the Boko municipality and its environs, the statement said. It added, accordingly, women are now permitted to ride motorbikes between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. daily. The ministry stressed that the existing ban on men riding motorbikes remains unchanged. However, the ban on men riding motorbikes remain in force until further notice, the statement said. The Ministry of the Interior urged residents to comply with the directive to help maintain peace and security in the area. The ministry urges all residents to comply with the directive to ensure peace and security in the area, it added.
Away from the story in the Boko in the Upper East region, we move to the business where the price floor for petroleum and diesel and liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) for the first pricing window of August have increased compared with the second pricing window of July, signaling continued upward pressure on fuel prices.
The latest figures published by the National Petroleum Authority indicate higher minimum retail thresholds for all three petroleum products. The petrol price floor has been set at 14 cedis 53 pesos per litre, up from 13 cedis 28 pesos per litre in the second pricing window of July, representing an increase of 1 cedi 25 pesos per litre or 9.4%. Diesel recorded the largest increase, with its price floor moving to 16 cedis 97 pesos per litre from 14 cedis 35 pesos per litre, representing an increase of 2 cedis 62 pesos per litre or 18.3%. The adjustment is among the biggest increases in diesel price floors recorded in recent times and is expected to significantly raise operating costs for the transport, mining, construction, manufacturing, and agricultural sectors where diesel is a key input. The LPG price floor has also increased to 11 cedis 06 pesos per kilogram from 10 cedis 19 pesos per kilogram, representing an increase of 0.87 pesos per kilogram or 8.5%. The price floors represent the minimum retail thresholds that oil marketing companies, OMCs, and LPG marketing companies are required to observe during the pricing window. They exclude premiums charged by international trading companies, operating margins of bulk import, distribution, and export companies, as well as marketers and dealers' margins, which are determined independently under the Petroleum Products Pricing Guidelines. The higher price floors come as several OMCs continue to adjust pump prices upward amid rising international crude oil prices and a weaker cedi. Brent crude prices have climbed following renewed geopolitical tensions involving the United States and Iran, while the Bank of Ghana's July 2026 Summary of Economic and Financial Data showed the cedi had depreciated 9.5% against the US dollar by the end of July. July. The latest price floor adjustments points to sustained pressure on fuel prices in the first pricing window of August. Higher fuel costs are expected to feed into transportation, logistics, and production expenses, increasing cost pressures for businesses and raising the likelihood of higher transport fares and consumer prices.
On the international front, the Mexican drug cartel are increasingly turning to Nigeria as a location for parts of their production operations, according to security analysts, highlighting the growing global reach of an organized crime network and challenges facing international drug enforcement agencies.
Mexican drug cartels, long associated with large-scale production and trafficking of synthetic drugs, are reportedly expanding their operations beyond Latin America by establishing links with criminal networks in Nigeria. Investigations by international law enforcement agencies have revealed that some cartel-linked groups have sought to move elements of methamphetamine production to countries where they can exploit weaker enforcement systems, access precursor chemicals, and operate through local criminal networks. Nigeria's strategic location, large population, and existing trafficking routes have made it a target for international organized crime groups seeking new bases for drug production and distribution. Authorities say criminal networks often recruit local operatives, provide technical expertise, and establish clandestine laboratories to manufacture synthetic drugs before moving them through regional and international routes. The development has raised concerns among security officials about the need for stronger intelligence sharing, tighter monitoring of chemical supplies, and increased cooperation between African and international law enforcement agencies. Experts warn that the growth of synthetic drug production in Africa could worsen public health challenges and fuel organized crime if not addressed through coordinated action.
And that brings us to the end of this morning's Mega News on the Morning Focus. But before we take leave of you, a recap of the stories making headlines.
Don't rush to declare Asante Achim North seat vacant, ASEPA. In business, NPA raises diesel price floor by 18%, petrol up 9.4%. And on the international front, Mexican drug cartels expand meth operations to Nigeria, outsourcing production networks abroad.
For more news, log on to MBN 360. Thanks for staying with us. Coming up, sports updates. Good morning.